Hey there, and welcome to Hot Seat. And we are here to explore the reasons of why. What's the why? What's the purpose? What drives business owners to do what they do? If it's what you're looking for, to get motivated, well, we look forward to sharing this episode with you. I'm your host, Kelvin Holiday, and I am enjoying the fact that we can explore people's why and motivate others. So stay tuned for this exciting new episode. 15 minutes, fast paced. Let's do it. Folks, here we are for another hot seat. And we have got a person I've known for some time, and his story is like, wow. Gary Capps is an absolute genius, and he's just launched a new product, but I'm sure he's going to tell us a little bit about that. Gary, come on into the hot seat, my friend.
Good day, Kev. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm doing extremely well. You're still a little bit bright-eyed. I know you've actually put in a late night the last couple of nights.
Couple of late nights the last 2 nights. Yeah, it's the life of getting stuff done.
Yeah, good, mate. We'll get into that, but I guess I want to tell the folks just a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit of your history. What is it you've done? What has led you to be doing what you're doing now? And then we might delve a little bit into the family life and some of your inspirational whys. So just tell us a little bit of your story.
It depends how far back you want to go, but I mean, I think I've always been sort of self-driven, I guess, if you like. Not too great in the employment factor. Always a good worker, but not too great in the employment factor. And just self-driven to kind of make my own things happen. You could always see stuff that you wanted to get done or wanted to change. And when you're in an environment that you can't do that in, didn't like that. It's like, okay, we could make these things better. So I always wanted to do something better and bigger for myself, I guess. And it kind of started with me growing up in England. And I was like, I can't stay in this country. It's too cold and I need to go somewhere else. So as soon as I could, I kind of did the sensible thing and I stayed and finished out my engineering degree and got a year's work under my belt. And I was like, that's it, I'm off. So I went off to Australia, came here, and then I did work through some various jobs in digital agencies and stuff like that, and then just went out and did my own thing and just grew stuff from there to where we are now, where we've got a digital agency. We've launched a few products over the years. Launched a new product, which is why I'm a bit bleary-eyed, like literally yesterday, working on it last night to get that out. But yeah, just a drive, I guess, for change and not being satisfied. Like I just don't think you can sit there and just accept life as it comes along. I think that's a bad way to just run along with things and get carried by the current.
That's exactly the personality. That's exactly the person I've got to know, and really enjoy, building our relationship and building what I see as a friendship more than even just a business colleague. But mate, you've told me your story. Your story of your why, and I don't mind saying, folks, that when Gary told me his story when I invited him to come on here on the hot seat, it resonated in such a multitude of ways. So, mate, so many people struggle, all right, in life. They hit these challenges, and you've just said from a business perspective, you're just not happy to do the norm. But I know in your own personal life, you've had a couple of challenges, and that's actually giving you your why. So tell us that story. What's been behind keeping you going every single day?
Yeah, so like keeping one foot moving forward. So the story that I've shared with you is around the journey that we had to have our son, basically. So and it's not uncommon, that a lot of people struggle to have kids in this day and age, especially like, people are starting families later in life, we're not all starting at 21 anymore, which was common, years ago. Things have changed a lot now. People are working, both parent or both people in a partnership or marriage are working, and the family is sort of pushed out a little bit because they want to save and get ahead and build a house and all those kind of things. And we were very much like that as well. Me and my wife, as she is now, been together for 20, oh God, I can't get this wrong. She sees this, she'll shoot me, but 24 years, I think we've been together in total now. And yeah, we spent pretty much 10 years together, 10 years together, just having fun, we were a young couple. She's from Ireland, I was from England, just having a good time. And then we got married, going to settle down, and obviously conversations around, like, let's start a family and have a child or two kids. That's what we call it going forward, most people. And then that part of life just didn't work out. We were trying for 5 years, and 5 years of just trying, and my wife's trying everything. She's like off to doctor medicine woman, and she's drinking all kinds of potions and herbs and acupuncture and fertility medicines and all that kind of stuff, to the point where we got to just going, okay, well, we need to try IVF. Nothing else has worked. We tried all these things, and going down the IVF journey. And that journey there was like one of the hardest journeys I've ever done in my life. And I think a lot of people just don't even think about that or realize how difficult that is for the guys in that journey, because there's two of you in it. And obviously, my wife, or the woman or the female in any sort of IVF journey, people tend to think about them, and right, so it's very, very tough for the women. How hard it is for them to go through, but it's really hard for us as the guys to go through as well, because we're guys, and generally we're wired to fix things, right? That's what we do.
Yep.
Got a problem,
Yep.
we'll fix it, right? Can't fix that. You're just absolutely helpless. And we went through round after round of just not working. And you just get to a point, you're like, what are you going to do here? And it just gets so challenging, where, like, my wife, or wife and people's partners, they're struggling, like, and you need to support them, but then who supports you? So it's really hard, so you kind of go through that, and it's a really difficult journey. But my why is, like, there was a happy end to it, and we went through 11 rounds of IVF over 5 years. So yeah, it was tough. It was a tough journey, and we ended up going overseas. We actually ended up overseas to do it. So we went to Spain from Australia, and we did a few rounds over there. But look, we did have a happy ending at the end, and getting our son. And once, like that, and that was like our why for years, was just to get there. It's like, okay, that just keeps driving you forward. So it's all the things we're doing through that time as well. While you're on that journey, it's like, okay, well, while we're on that journey, we were still working, trying to build businesses. We're building a home, buying an investment property, all that stuff you got to do to keep moving, while managing that. And I can tell you, IVF is not cheap.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money going towards that. So it can be a strain on the finances, and it certainly was at times, where it's just like, okay, well, I guess we're going ahead again, because like, you run a business, you have a budget, right?
Yeah.
What is your budget for building a family? What is it?
Yeah.
It's
Great point.
it's such a emotional battle to go through, and you look at all the practicalities, and again, because as guys, we're practical. We just go, oh, okay, there's another, and there's thousands of dollars, like, each time. But you just keep on going, so you have to manage all that stuff. But that really has given me, well, that gave me my why for years, to just keep going anyway, because I wanted to have a family, be a dad. Like, I just really wanted to do that. I didn't have much to do with my dad growing up, and I just felt that, and I realize it now as well. Like, I got a 6-year-old, and I didn't have my dad around when I was 6 years old, and how much he needs me through growing.
Yeah.
I kind of realized, like, oh God, how much stuff you've missed, and then trying to give that back to him. And it just gives you such a sense of purpose that I never kind of realized that you would get. And it was really interesting going through that journey as well. I was chatting to a friend of ours one day at the gym, and he never wanted to have kids, like, flat out, I'm not having kids. And he's like, but I respect you. If you want to have kids, that's great. And he knew what we were going through, and we'd been through multiple rounds of IVF at that time. And he said, you know what's good about your kid? He goes, you really want it. You're working for your kid. He's like, your kid's going to be lucky, I can't remember what he said, but he said, your kid's going to be wanted because you're really
Yeah.
working for it. And a lot of people, I'm not saying they do take their kids for granted, but a lot of people, and God bless them, I'm so happy for them that they do, just get pregnant, knock out a couple of kids, and it's like, hey, that was easy. No dramas at all. Don't even give it a second thought. We've got plenty of friends like that. Don't begrudge them in the slightest. I think it's fantastic. But when you go on a journey to really work for something like that, in anything in life, the stuff that you work for, you generally tend to appreciate more. And yeah, that's just given me such a why. And I never told you this, Kel, because I was going to save it for this podcast, right? Because you'll
Go for it, mate. If there's another pearl here, I'm looking forward to it.
there's a perler. There's two perlers, mate. So 6 months after my son was born, I was in a business partnership at the time. We'd grown a very successful company, 7 figures, and my business partner, he was the major shareholder. Basically, it's a long, complicated story, but I won't tell you all of that because this isn't the time for it. But basically, he kicked me out of the company and just like kicked me out of the company. I ended up with nothing from it was a multiple 7 figure company. I got nothing out of it, went through legal battles for years, got nothing. And then we'd gone through the courts for, it was like nearly 3 years. So, and that was from when my son was 6 months old to 3. And we finally finished that off. And then we got scammed like massively for all our super and all the cash that we had in the bank, basically. All got done in this. It was an unbelievable scam that you think you'll never get done for. And during that, there was a point where I'd gone from like, okay, well, that's done. I kind of lost out on that business. And then suddenly within a couple of weeks, we'd literally kind of lost everything financially because we got scammed. And I sat down at the river with my son and we were just sitting there. And I'd taken an apple down there and I was sitting there with my 3-year-old son. I went, oh, well, that's all right. He's here. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care what his dad's got, And I literally just kind of came to peace with everything at that point. Just went, well, doesn't matter. We'll just go again. We'll sort everything out. So it was that was a massive kind of realization and a why for me that I just kind of sat with him, which went, well, got him. Like, what else do you need apart from like people chase the money, and we've been fortunate again, and we've done good things, but like your family and your health, and people talk about that all the time and go, oh, that's important, that's the most important thing in life. But when you've actually got to that point and you realize it, you really do kind of realize it. So I didn't tell you that part before, mate.
My heart's banging away in here because I resonate so much. And it's like what I'm hearing here, and I think folks, and I think you're probably hearing it as well. Gary's one of those guys. I never say never let things go. You started off in this podcast about saying you would never accept the norm. Like you're just always striving for that, and you wouldn't accept and with your boy, you wouldn't accept no for an answer. And yeah, that could be the bloke thing in you. You want to fix the problem, all right, and keep on pushing forward. But there's a lot deeper thing here, and having that apple on that that side of the water there with your son, and you just going, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I've got at the core, all right, I've got my family,
Yeah.
and you've got that longing desire for you. And look, some people don't have that child thing or the family thing that's their desire. And you said that about your other friend, but if you can actually really nail what is it that motivates you, anything's possible.
Yeah,
really.
It absolutely is. And where we've gone from there in 3 years is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
it really is. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Mate, well, we started off this session. Like, I'm going to actually divert before I actually get. I'm a bit of an emotional sort of dude, so I'm going to actually get a little bit more in the business. You've just launched a new product, which is it's going to revolutionize the high level sort of space. and you've lost a couple of nights sleep about it these last couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, folks, just without getting into it too much detail, just tell us a little bit what it is and how special does it feel to launch something that nobody else has been able to do.
Well, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, I guess, like, as an agency, and this is the thing in Australia, like, our costs of running SMS campaigns are very expensive compared to basically the US. Like, in the US, it's very cheap. So they don't even think about it there. They don't really think twice, and they just sign up through the standard providers and use that. But what we've done is built a platform so that we can run them all out through mobile phones and use SMS plans on mobile phones. I will stress that, like, use them, and we tell all our users this. It's like, use this stuff accordingly. Don't go to do silly things, right? We're not for spamming and all that kind of stuff, but use them accordingly. Do the right things in your business and look after your clients and all that. But we've built something that's so easy for people to now hook up a phone into High Level. It's literally like 4 or 5 clicks just to get that set up, and they can be up and running in like literally minutes. And even as opposed to the cloud platforms that they have to sign up for, and the providers where they have to sign up for A2P in the US, we have regulatory bundles in Australia. There's requirements that you have to fill in. They have throttling on new accounts. So if you set up a new account, you're throttled, and you can only send, I think it's like 100 SMSs on your first day and 200 and something on the next day. So if you've got a client and you've just landed and they want to do some kind of database reactivation, you're like, yeah, okay, but it's going to take us probably give us at least 2 days to set up your phone number, and then we can probably send out 100 SMSs on the third day and 200 the next day. Whereas like, just do it, get it set up, and you can be up and running within an hour easily. Like, by the time you're going to purchase the phone and set the phone up and put a card in there, it's super easy, and 5 clicks to connect it to our system. So it's all about speed as well. Speed for agency owners, speed to lead, speed to market for a client that they're talking to, and they can just go, yeah, cool, we can get that set up for you. We can get it started on Friday. They go, oh, but it's Thursday afternoon. You go, yeah, I know.
Yeah, just it is, and between your why and your story and what now, as I said, 3 years ago was sort of like ground zero again, all right, to where you are now, and then to come up with an idea and implement it, and launch it in the tech space, to launch a product, and get that minimum viable product is a hard thing. But this just resonates with me, and it resonates the fact that you are your world beater, your influencer, you're a person that just doesn't say, stop. You just keep on pushing forward, and you won't take no for an answer. And I love that. Mate. So,
well, they push forward. Trying to help the other people on the way that you're pushing, pull people with you, because like, it's hard when you're going through it and you need answers to things, trying to find them, and the people that will give you those answers, like, you got to appreciate that. And I try to make sure I do that. Like, you see me trying to help people and give them answers on other stuff now, and try and do that to other people.
And that's what resonates with us. Like, if you're a giver, all right, it will reciprocate. Like reciprocity. You just put the people first, and and keep on driving forward with your passion. Mate, love it. We're gonna, mate. Boys, I said you at the start, this is going to be the fastest 15 minutes of your life, and we're already gone past a bit of time here. So I'm going to let us wrap up with, what's your hot tip for the day, mate, to keep people, when things are tough, when things don't seem to go right, or even going against you, and you've had a couple of those. What's something that you can give some advice on how to keep on moving?
Oh, it's not advice, and it's not my saying, but it was always something that I just kind of remembered. I don't even know where I heard it, but it's like, it's not where you are today, it's where you're going to end up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you sit there in the absolute today, but like, tomorrow could be amazing. One phone call can change everything. It really can. And we've seen that, me and my wife, through the years. We've seen that time and time again. You can just go, all right, one thing can change everything. So don't dwell in it too much.
Yep. If it's done, it's done. Yep. Stop stressing about the past. You can only change the future.
Yep.
Gary, a pleasure as always having a chat with you, mate. But thank you so much for coming on, being vulnerable a little bit, sharing your story there, helping some people to really, unpack, some of those things that might be holding us back.
Pleasure, mate. Thank you for having me.
Cool, folks. That's another wrap for a hot seat. And we'll be back next week. Gary, an amazing guy. Check out, if you're in that high level space, check out his SMS system. It is mind-blowingly good. And for those people who are looking to be able to, leverage their marketing space, get in contact, and I'll make sure I pass on the details for you. Until next time, have a good one. Thanks for joining us here at Hot Seat. It's been an amazing, amazing event. It is a place where you can actually enjoy and be inspired by the why of others, the drive of the purpose and the passion. Please like and share this podcast with as many people as you can to inspire them to make a difference in this world. Have an awesome day. Unleash.